Hey y'all, we are back with another dense update. Here we go. Patrick Vellner was on this week with Talking Elite Fitness's Tommy Marquez and Lauren Khalil. Now, basically, if you watched the Coffee Pods and Wads interview with Pedro, it's kind of along the same things. It almost seems like Patrick is on his campaign tour leading up to a big election. We already know that he is not happy with the responsive demands. We know he's not in love with the online season. We know that he hasn't confirmed whether or not he's going to do this year's CrossFit Games season. We know he's going to Wadapalooza. We know he didn't have a great showing at Rogue. I'd say the only slight difference I noticed is just his presence and his tone. I presume that in this interview, because he's talking to Tommy Marquez and Lauren Khalil, seems a little less agitated and a little more relaxed. A couple of things in this interview, not that he's backtracking, but he states that the rhetoric that's out there on the internet really didn't represent well what they were stating and asking for in their demands.
Like, there was all this stuff that just like, it wasn't actually what we said or did or asked for, but it's kind of straw manning. And it's
in reference to firing of Dave Castro. Now they're saying, hey, look, we never asked for Dave Castro to be fired. We just didn't want him to do the job that he's done for the last, 18 years. We didn't want him to continue to program and lead the CrossFit Games that he created in his backyard. I mean, that's not firing him, right? Come on.
What are we talking about? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Do you think we're that stupid? To the everyday fan, that's exactly what you're asking for. You are asking for him to be removed from his position in which he created, because he created the CrossFit Games with Greg Glassman in his backyard.
2007, myself and Greg Glassman were walking here at the ranch. He was looking around and he says, wouldn't it be cool to run an event here, to have some sort of get-together of CrossFitters?
He seems to kind of be playing it off as if the games never matter to him. It's not really that important. He doesn't really care. There's other opportunities, Rogue, Wadapalooza. But then Bryson Del Monte brings up a good point in a live show on the Real Sevan podcast.
It's exactly what I'm saying. If you don't care about competing and you don't see yourself in your own eyes as a games athlete, one, you wouldn't tell people all the time that you're so much more than that and all the other stuff. But also when you get cut after Mary, you wouldn't, or get cut after the sprint or whatever he got cut after that year, the sprint or Mary, you wouldn't be complaining about it drunk at a bar that same night.
They talk about CrossFit's new athlete council and the certain eligibility requirements that CrossFit put in place in order for athletes to apply for that council.
I think it's a level of control that's put in there. I think there's ones like you couldn't be a retired athlete. You have to hold an active level 1 or be registered in one.
He points out that Brent and himself would not be eligible for that athlete council, seeing as Brent is now a retired athlete, no longer competing, and Patrick Vellner does not hold a current level 1.
So Brent and I are both not eligible, Brent having just retired.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, anyways.
As if CrossFit's making these eligibility requirements just so those two cannot participate.
So again, being exclusionary in that respect, again, someone could argue our group is exclusionary, but
conveniently leaving out the fact that in 2022, every athlete that podiumed at a semifinal, every semifinal across the globe was given a free $1,000 CrossFit Level 1 course that they could attend. And that CF Level 1 would still be in effect until 2027 for free to any athlete that wanted to take it. And some did, some didn't. And you might be asking, Jenny, how do you know that? No way you looked up 240 athletes' names in the CrossFit Trainer directory to see who holds an L1 and who doesn't. Pretty darn close. I went down the rabbit hole on that one just to see out of curiosity. And I looked up all the individual male and female athletes from 2022, as well as some of the team athletes that I've noticed making certain comments online in the midst of all this controversy, just to see, do you hold an L1? You were given one for free. Why wouldn't you take it? I was actually a little surprised with some of the results. For instance, Laura Horvat, she holds a level 2. Didn't know that. I personally don't mind what CrossFit does with the eligibility requirements for anything within their organization. That is their organization. That is their money. That is their time. That is their liability. That is all on them. This is their competition that they created for people to voluntarily participate in. they can do whatever they want. He says the athletes should make up their own mind as far as if they're going to participate in the game season, participate in the new upcoming project that Will Morad has, or if they want to do both. But like I said, it seems like he's on a campaign trail.
People are just going to leave their options open. People who are, very elite and have the ability to do so.
Which, okay, cool. If you want the athletes to go try this other thing as well, the CrossFit Games has never really had anything that can even come close into comparison.
It's the biggest participation by a magnitude. There's no comparison. There's no second place, third place, fourth place. So CrossFit Games since 2007, like any 1 year of the CrossFit Games participation, you pick the year after 2009, is more than all of the other competitions combined for all the years they've been around. So let me just state that. Okay. So it's the biggest, it's the safest with the number of participants it's had. It's the safest. It gets the most eyeballs. It generates the most revenue. It makes the most money for the athletes. It has the best programming. It has the best equipment. It has the best schedule. It has the best judges.
If you want to watch the full interview, it's a little under an hour. You can find that on the Talking Elite Fitness YouTube channel. Now, the World Fitness Project posted to their Instagram a 7-slide post detailing a little bit more about the upcoming 2025 season. Up until now, we've known very little about the organization other than we are for the people. It is our culture. This stands as the foundation of how we lead to how we serve. Because at the end of the day, we are just people who are here to support other people, athletes, employees, the fitness community, and beyond. Nowhere in there are they talking about competition or sport. Their 2025 season will feature over 500 athletes of varying age group and skill level to all compete alongside each other, much like a Wadapalooza. The pro division will include 20 signed female athletes, 20 signed male athletes, and 10 other qualifier athletes. These athletes will compete for points throughout the season in order to earn a pro card for the 2026 season. Now, the challenger athletes are kind of going to be like your semifinal athletes that are on the bubble of making the games. They will be competing in tour events. Challengers can earn points via the pro or challenger field to secure a spot in the finals and contend for a top 20 ranking and a pro contract. And then the rest of the competitors are broken up into age groups, skill level, and team categories. Those people will sign up in their respective field in order for a chance to compete at the World Fitness Finals, which I assume is going to be their Super Bowl or their games. They give us a season timeline, but no dates yet, and many more online qualifying stages than what we would see in a CrossFit Games season. In fact, a month-long one is more like the Open. The other two just seem like qualifiers to get into a local event. Brian of the Barbell Spin was on with Sevan and Tyler Watkins of the Heat One app, and he said that he had heard that the start of this season would be sometime in late March, so assuming after the CrossFit Open has completed.
We're speculating that right when the Open is over, this thing fires up.
Mm-hmm. If what I've heard is correct, yeah.
And the final slide, more details to be dropping soon. So still a lot of questions. Who's funding all of this? Do they already have a rule book? Do they have specific movement standards? Since we're going to be seeing the same 20 athletes competing every time throughout the year, and the only difference will be the qualifying athletes, are the workouts going to be same? Will this be live streamed? If an athlete gets injured who already has a top 20 rank, will they backfill from the qualifiers for other athletes to compete? I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing. This is just going to give athletes an opportunity to do both if they don't conflict with each other, depending on when their finals events are and when their tour events are. With this new league will come with a lot of public opinion. It'll come with a lot of athlete opinion. If the purpose is to serve the athletes, you do realize you will not be able to serve them all. But which ones are you serving? Either way, I'm curious to see how this all plays out. The World Fitness Project hasn't announced whether or not they're partnering with the PFAA, but I will imagine because Will Morad and Patrick Vellner are close friends, and Patrick Vellner has kind of been on the campaign trail talking about this upcoming league, I would presume that they are working closely together. On this week's episode of Kill Taylor, prize money was up to $2,000. Paper Street Coffee is the sponsor of that show. Had a few callers call in. The CrossFit Games athlete Hattie Canio called in and took her shot at it. She came up a little bit short, but nonetheless had a good time, was a great sport about it. Little fun fact we learned about Hattie Saturday is she is an Android user. Yep, that's right. She's the one that puts that green little bubble in your group chats.
Hey, what are you recording this on? What phone are you using? What is this?
Droid, I bet. I bet.
Android.
I knew it.
It's okay, Hattie. We still like you. But since no one won the $2,000 prize, it has increased to $3,000 for this upcoming Saturday, which would be a nice little Venmo deposit in your bank account leading up to Christmas. So be sure to be on the lookout for that workout this coming Saturday. You can find the workout on the Real Sevan podcast Instagram channel Saturday morning, and then they will go live. You can text into the show, get a link, drink your pre-workout, and take your shot. Tia Claire Toomey and James Newberry took on the Melbourne High Rocks race over the weekend, competing in the mixed doubles. They ended up placing 3rd overall and 2nd in their age group division, with an overall time of 55 minutes and 48 seconds. Not too shabby for their first time out. Will it be the last? I don't know. But I would imagine that Tia will probably put out some sort of behind the scenes from that race soon. Former CrossFit athlete Emma McQuaid, who has so openly stated that she will not be competing in this year's CrossFit Games season, was kind of under attack by the Bats last week. Hillerhead posted some videos to his story, to which she replied, posted to her story, then she deleted, took it down. I mentioned it in a video. She ended up coming across my reel, just sharing the clip from my video, and commented, "You must be getting it tight for content, smile face. I said after the heat, the moments story I posted, I was fully in the wrong. I got excited. I went too fast, not getting my arms through enough. It won't happen again," which is cool. Great. You could have just stopped there. But then she goes on to say, "You all seem to really highlight negative things within the sport that can really impact people's mental health. I've been properly attacked over my 9-foot power cleans, and I've been made feel like shit. Hope your 100 likes are worth it." You start off with taking accountability, but then you finish it with being a victim. Because people are pointing out that you are the top of the top, the cream of the crop, the 1% of elite athletes in a sport, but you don't think it's okay for people to point out poor movement standards. McQuaid holds a CrossFit L1, a CF-OL1, so she took it online. She's a kids trainer, aerobic capacity certificate, took the judges course in 2018, 2022, and 2024. Took the judges course, but in competition, if someone points out her movement standards, that is deemed negative to her mental health. Imagine you're a coach and an affiliate, and you got a class going on. You got people over in the wings waiting to warm up for the following class, and you walk over to the most elite athlete in your gym doing the workout, and you're like, "Hey, get a little lower on that wall ball," or, "Hey, elbows through on your power clean, stand all the way up." And that person says to you, "Why are you being so negative? This is detrimental to my mental health." Okay. Be the example, not the excuse. That is all for this dense update. Be sure to leave us a comment, like, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And as usual, if you're into this sort of thing, you can head over to my Instagram, follow me there for all the latest happenings in the CrossFit community.